If there's one thing we can all agree on as of late, it's that the MMA world has been nothing short of eventful and full of the most unexpected and pleasant surprises. Take Julianna Peña's win, for example. Nobody, and we mean nobody, saw that one coming. A true bolt from the blue. So what really went down that fateful night in the octagon? And are you curious to know more? Stay tuned till the end of this video, because we're going to be unpacking everything and more. Julianna Peña, the victor no one saw coming. Peña's time as the UFC's modern 135-pound champ started with a career-defining triumph over an adversary who hadn't misplaced since 2014. Dana White immediately remembered the first time he saw Julianna Peña around 8 years ago when he placed the bantamweight belt around her waist after one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. Peña approached White at his boys' jiu-jitsu event as per White's memory. "I'm going to fight for you someday, and I'm going to be a world champion," she said after racing up to the executive and holding out her hand. Peña's journey from that witty introduction to this victorious moment took her down a route she never could have imagined, with stops in 2014 for significant reconstructive knee surgery and 2018 for the birth of her baby. Despite the challenges in her life and 2 recent losses, she persisted in pursuing her ambition, ending in a confrontation Saturday night with the most decorated champion in women's mixed martial arts history. When Peña rose from UFC 269 as the first modern bantamweight winner since 2016, no one seemed to be less stunned than the 10-1 underdog herself. She said that she wasn't really that shocked about the turnout. She's well aware of her massive will and determination, that she had been through it all. She added that this victory was 13 years in the making and all her hard work has paid off. We can't agree more. Dissecting Peña's win. Peña showed startlingly powerful striking that was too much for Nunes, the finest striker in the women's sport, despite taking a lot of damage from Nunes' blows and barely surviving the first round without losing by submission. In the second round, Nunes was bruised and fatigued, and she was unable to escape the rear naked choke that destroyed her domination. For the last 7 years, Nunes had beaten practically everybody she had faced, including the notoriously ruthless knockouts of Ronda Rousey and Chris Cyborg Justino. Peña deflected Nunes' huge blows while remaining upright, and Nunes lacked the energy or willpower to devise a new strategy. Peña shared that how big and strong you are really doesn't matter. How powerful your blows are don't matter either. At the end of the day, it's really about who's more fit and in a better shape. Well said. Looking back at Peña's growth, Peña recalls meeting Dana White for the first time at a Las Vegas gym shortly after the UFC entered the women's MMA market and began making arrangements for women to appear on The Ultimate Fighter. She went up to him, told Dana White her name, and confidently said that she would be winning The Ultimate Fighter. Peña did just that in November 2013, but a few months later she injured her right knee in training and couldn't fight again until 2015. After winning at UFC 200 in 2016, Peña challenged Nunes for the title, but she thought Nunes never took her seriously as a title contender, and the apparent disrespect drove her preparation. Nunes is still the UFC's 145-pound featherweight champion, but White and Peña both stated that if she wants, she can compete at bantamweight again. Peña's self-assurance will only grow, and White himself wonders if Nunes' finest days are suddenly, shockingly over. "She's been at the top for a long time," White remarked. "She is wealthy and she now has a child and a family. These things have an effect on you." Peña intends to celebrate her title with her daughter over the holidays, but the experience is still new to her, so she needs to learn how to do it properly. When she first won the fight, she didn't understand why it was stopped because she didn't feel Nunes tap, and when she discovered that she was a world champion, she hopped onto the cage and let out a primal scream inspired by only a smidgen of fear. Amanda Nunes speaks on her devastating loss. Amanda Nunes, the former UFC bantamweight champion, has spoken out on social media for the first time since losing her belt to Julianna Peña. At UFC 269, Nunes got off to a fast start against Peña, flooring her with a huge right hand just minutes in. Peña, on the other hand, was able to endure the early onslaught and emerge victorious in the second round. Peña grabbed a powerful takedown and soon got Nunes' back with fair ease after a chaotic flurry of attacks by both women on the feet. Peña sealed the shocking victory with a rear naked choke to complete the historic upset. Nunes chatted with Joe Rogan minutes after the loss to discuss what went wrong in her fight with Peña. In her Octagon interview, Nunes stated that nothing was really surprising to her. She states that she knew Peña would come out victorious, and she's aware where her own faults lie and plans on working on them and hitting the ring again pretty soon. Despite having lost her belt, Nunes had nothing but nice words to say about Peña, congratulating her and even calling her a warrior. Following the day of her devastating loss, Nunes posted a picture of her family and coach on her Instagram account, thanking all of her supporters and saying that life goes on. Indeed it does, Amanda. Indeed it does. Peña jumps to Nunes' defense. Amanda Nunes did not quit and would have had her neck broken if she hadn't tapped out at UFC 269. Julianna Peña claims Amanda Nunes did not quit and would have had her neck broken if she hadn't tapped out. With her second round submission of probably the best female fighter of all time, Peña achieved arguably the greatest shock victory in the organization's history. Many fans were stunned to see Nunes tap out so quickly when Peña applied the choke, prompting some to believe the Lioness had simply given up. Julianna Peña was able to immediately defeat Amanda Nunes after holding the position. Given how quickly she tapped out, some assume the past champion gave up. However, Peña strongly disagrees, claiming that Nunes had no other option unless she wanted to risk significant harm. Peña told the MMA Hour that Nunes really had no choice but to tap out. She continued that Nunes would have had her neck broken if she hadn't tapped out, and that giving up was the last thing the former bantamweight champion did, adding that this specific choke was the same as it was with Sarah McMahon, and that her coach had been working on perfecting it for a while with her. Well, all their efforts certainly came to fruition. What's next for Peña? Julianna Peña, the newly minted UFC bantamweight champion, is ready and eager to fight anybody and everybody the UFC puts in front of her, but she has 3 names in mind. Julianna Peña submitted Amanda Nunes in the co-main event of UFC 269, pulling off the upset of the year and one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. If Nunes wants a rematch, UFC President Dana White has already indicated interest in scheduling one. What about the new champion, though? The 32-year-old, who is also known as the Venezuelan Vixen, didn't waste any time commenting on the idea. In a post-fight press conference, Peña boasted that she can have her next fight whenever they want, they being the UFC, but she also expressed her desire to spend some extra time with her daughter. After that, she was fully down for a rematch with Nunes if she'd like one. 2 rematches Peña has eyes on. Although the rest of the world did not have much faith in Julianna Peña headed into UFC 269, there was one thing that almost everyone could agree on about her: she was not lacking in confidence. As a result, it should come as no surprise that she views herself in complete control of who she fights next. Aside from a rematch with Amanda Nunes, if she had her way, she would not only offer a rematch, but she will also receive 2 rematches to avenge her only UFC losses. The new bantamweight champion shared the names of the people she would like to do rematches against and is definitely eyeing. Among them were Valentina Shevchenko and Germaine de Randamie. Peña shared that she would love a rematch with Nunes if it is something that would interest her. Peña was defeated by current women's flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko by armbar in a number 1 contenders match in 2017. Peña also lost a battle last year against former featherweight champion Germaine de Randamie by guillotine in the 3rd round. Julianna Peña is certainly on a roll, and we absolutely can't wait for her to hit the octagon again and dominate it. And that's all we have for you guys today. What did you think about Julianna Peña putting an end to Amanda Nunes' reign? Was it the biggest upset the UFC has seen? Who would you like to see her fight next? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye!